What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how I achieve my dream physique while working 10-hour shifts, full-time in school, and spending less than 6 hours a week in the gym so I can make this transformation right here. Primarily through using androgen optimization and manifestation or mental framework. And it's not woo-woo, it's a lot more logical and simple than you think. And we can do this without spending excessive hours in the gym, like I said, without wasting time and questioning what we're doing, and without feeling overwhelmed by garbage or useless or incorrect information. But first, I'd like to show you some results I've helped others achieve. So here's some of my client transformations. As you can see, these are all dogs, extremely hard workers. But we have here, this is Jack. So Jack is a first-year university student. And he's a pretty unique case because he actually had a powerlifting background, but during that whole time he was quite overweight or even obese. And he came to me because he's like, dude, I want to get absolutely shredded. I know you're a powerlifter too, but I'm scared of losing all my strength. And despite the new pressure of being a first-year student at school, dealing with a lot of stress there, having some mental health challenges, learning how to live it on his own, and budget, dealing with all this stress, this brand new stress, which can kind of wreak havoc on your drive and your system. He came to me with all that on his shoulders and still managed to drop about 30 pounds in 3.5 months and maintain basically all of his strength. So he can still bench 315, squat 405, and deadlift 485. And he's also been becoming more explosive, exploring other avenues of athleticism, which is one of his goals. It's something I also specialize in. And his mental health is a lot better since we've been working on that as well. So Jack's been feeling a lot more confident lately. He's branching out, starting to pursue more connections with other people and women as well, which is a huge plus when you are fully optimized and androgenic, as well as chasing after your dream physique. And you can see here, he looks so much better. Like the stomach is flatter. You can even see like his face. Obviously, I blurred it to keep him anonymous, but still his face is looking incredible. Yeah, so another somewhat unique case I have here is Nick. So Nick worked with me for about a month. He was already an accomplished MMA champion. He's a little bit older, and he wanted to learn powerlifting. So obviously, since I have a powerlifting background, he came to me, and he's like, look, I'm super busy. I'm a dad. I run an MMA gym. I work 12-hour shifts as security. And he had no time to learn how to train properly. He had no time to learn how to diet properly for having higher energy levels to support this kind of lifestyle. He's also a father, so, not a whole lot of sleep going on when you are doing all those things at once. But after working with me, I think this was literally about 3 weeks where Nick, at first, this was the first video he ever sent me. He's trying to deadlift 315, which is already a pretty good starting point. But, his back's rounding. He's struggled to get this up. And this is him holding 407. These are kg plates. And he's locked out. Fully aligned spine, looking just so confident and flawless with this. And after working with me, he actually went out to do his first powerlifting meet, and he put up 475 on the deadlift, which is absolutely nuts. He noticed increases in mental clarity, a more stable mood, and sustained energy levels for the day, and his body really thrived under our aggressive protocol. Even given all those responsibilities he had, he still found a way to get it in and actually compete at a high level, which was amazing. Super proud of Nick. Here we have Jacob. So Jacob's probably my busiest client. He has a ridiculous 3-hour commute. So he resides in one city. He has to work in another city, and he goes to school in another city. So he does this little triangle commute every single day, which is absurd. And since he actually runs his own business, sometimes he would have to do upwards of 19-hour shifts to keep it alive, which is crazy, right? And most people in his position would just throw their fitness out the window or just wait for the perfect time, wait for things to settle down. But he was like, no, I need to be shredded. I need to be more confident. I want to take off my shirt this summer and look insane, which he did exactly that. And after working with me, Jacob made some pretty fast, noticeable gains despite all the disruption in his life. We took a pretty minimalistic approach while still checking all the boxes and being super effective. He told me right off the bat, I think in a couple of days of changing his diet, even he had crazy energy, which he loved because that also translated into his business and study endeavors. And what Jacob really proved is that it's not really about waiting for time or hoping for time to show up in your schedule. It's about creating the time. His results are a reflection of relentless drive, and he's just getting started. I can't wait for him to actually enter his next bulking phase and put on some crazy size too. But I mean, you can see here. Look, just look at the difference in the abs and the veins coming out in the arms, and just the structure of his body is so different because the structure of his mind is now different too. So me, I was always an active kid, but I was never really confident enough to commit to one sport growing up because I always sort of felt like I just had to already be good at it, or else I just wasn't confident. I didn't want to stick with it, and I didn't want to do something I was bad at, so I didn't want to take the time to get good at anything, which is a stupid mindset. But that's how I was growing up. I did end up sticking with tumbling, like gymnastics, doing backflips and shit. Track and field, I love to run, and martial arts. So I was routinely the smallest kid in my class growing up. I was usually, like, at the doctor checkups, I was around like second or third percentile for both height and weight. And if you've ever experienced that growing up, you know that you get picked on a lot, not just verbally, but also physically sometimes. So I'd find myself getting into a lot of altercations, and that's why I took to martial arts, because I was just angry, and I hated being small. And no matter what, I was still super insecure. Like, I remember I would always have my hood up, and I would always kind of just be like this, all like shuttled away, trying to, just hide myself, because I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. And that continued all through elementary and middle school. And this is me at 14, kind of towards the end of that. I just looked kind of scrawny, late bloomer, and I even had a bit of a belly going. But nobody could see. I just look like a average kind of like kid that just plays video games and stays inside too much or something. But what you can't see is that I was in extreme mental pain. I hated the way I looked. I hated the way I felt. I hated being in my own skin. And I had the beginnings of a substance abuse issue, which would cost me my sanity and health for the next few years to come. So this is me just a few months later at 105 pounds at 5'9". And somehow I still kind of have this sort of fat, like feminine figure going on, like my hips quite literally wider than my clavicles. This should have been a time of peak development, just being about 14. I think I was about to turn 15 in this picture. And it was squandered because I was doing drugs. I was sitting inside all day. This was during COVID, so I was super depressed. I just a complete dopaminergic wasteland inside of my head. And you can even see here my nose is messed up because I was snorting shit. And I thought I was being cute saying that, but like I said, this might have been my rock bottom in terms of my health and fitness. And what should have been my peak years of growth velocity, like I said, was squandered by this mess I got myself into. But little did I know this would be a minor setback compared to the strides I would make very soon in the future. Much like how when you shoot a bow and arrow in archery, you have to pull the arrow back in order to launch it. This is the peak of the pullback that I was in right here. And I knew I wanted to be fit. I think after I took this picture, I started doing this thing where I would just jog around the block, feel violently sick, and then just sit in pain for hours. And I actually developed a chronic pain disorder due to the fact that, number one, I was super inactive, just sitting on a chair all day, was not taking care of my body in any regard, to doing nothing for fitness. And I wasn't eating anything, so my body had no fuel to heal from anything that happened to it or to develop. And also the drugs I was taking were messing with my neurochemistry. So I had some neurotransmitter imbalances, which caused me to perceive more pain than I actually had. So all that together made me just feel like a fucking hopeless mess. And I remember I would break down so much, and because it would hurt to be alive, both physically and mentally. And it was a super huge challenge for me to crawl out. I started to eat a little bit more. And I put on about 20 pounds even without lifting any weights, just because I was getting 1 to 2 meals in a day. So, because my set point was I was eating nothing. So I would drink maybe an energy drink and eat a bag of chips or some candy if I was lucky that day. But one memory that specifically stands out, as a core memory for me, is my sophomore year. I decided to do wrestling, and I was terrible at it. And we were doing weight training. And the team captain had me put 95 pounds on the bench press. And I think I was around 120, 125 at this point. And I just dropped it. It just was not budging. No way. It was kind of in that moment where everyone on the team was looking at me like, what the fuck? Like, they thought I was joking, right? It was in that moment that I realized, like, okay, I need to do something. And the excuses had to stop, because it didn't matter what my excuses were, what my situation was. The only thing that mattered was that my results would change. So the beginning of my lifting journey was far from perfect. And to top it all off, I had my first heartbreak at the ripe old age of 17. So my eating disorder, the effects were still kind of lingering. I would still experience low appetite, be repulsed by food a lot of the time. And I was still trying to constantly force feed because I was driven. I was like, I need to get bigger, I need to get bigger, I need to get bigger and stronger. And I need to be bigger and stronger than these guys that were performing better than me in every aspect. That literally just was so hammered into my mindset that I would, like I said, I would force feed, and I was so fixated on being big and nothing else mattered. I didn't care about my health physically or mentally, and I thought this was the only way, just I just man up. But I was only digging myself deeper into the hole of a negative relationship to food. And once again, found myself with no hunger cues, high cortisol, super bloated, can't eat, always stressed, feeling like garbage. And this time I just looked like an even bigger piece of shit. So I wanted to break the chains and break the cycle, but the more I tried by forcing, the more stuck I felt. So I begged God for help, and I made a promise to myself because I knew I needed to be more intentional, not just in the gym, but with my mental health as well. Because I had zero confidence. I felt like a fucking pussy straight up, just all the time around all these other guys that were so much more developed, more driven, stronger physically and mentally than I was. Focusing on healing my mind and body was really the only way that I could achieve this, not just by forcing progress. And after all the years of pain, my why was finally big enough. And it was from this point on I never looked back, and I can never lose motivation again. So once I finally reached the breaking point, and I knew I needed to take a different approach than just forcing, which I tried to do for the first year or two of my lifting journey, I developed my first ever protocol for myself to not only just gain muscle and lose fat, but also be high testosterone and have good mental health. And I embarked on it, and I never looked back. So I removed all distractions and sources of negativity from my life. I made a workout and diet plan. I enrolled in community college and took up a food service job so I could get some income on my plate, so I could afford supplements, my gym membership, and just have some extra cash, because who doesn't want money, right? And I created all these systems to maximize my testosterone and improve my mental health metrics. I was lonely and isolated, but I was healing. And I was discovering myself and learning the inner workings of my mind and the universe alike. And I was aligning with God. My body morphed before my eyes, and within 60 days, I had gained 10 pounds, but the skin on my muscles was tight. I could see my abs fully. And all my lifts shot up. I gained about 60 pounds on my squat, almost 100 pounds on my deadlift. And my skin even cleared up. I took on a healthier complexion. I woke up naturally every single morning before the sun even was up, with such drive to conquer and grow as much as possible. And my total testosterone levels were off the charts. I know I was 17 and testosterone is supposed to be high, but even at 1100 is pretty crazy, and definitely takes some intention to be at that level. And I was able to achieve whatever I could truly visualize and believe in my mind. So this is the transformation I made in about 74 days on this regimen. And just absolutely, you can see I was getting cooked in the sun. I felt amazing. My hair grew super fast. My abs were so defined. My shoulders got wider. Everything more vascular, less bloated in the face. Just feeling amazing, dude. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that I actually set my first goal as well during this time period. You have to set goals to increase your test and fix your mental health. If you have no goals, you have nothing to wake up for. You'll be directionless and purposeless, and that is why you are depressed. So as you can see here, I competed in my first powerlifting meet in the largest federation, and I actually won overall for the Team 2 age division and qualified for Nationals, which was amazing. I was so happy. I felt an immense dopamine rush after this event. Nothing like that. I was like, wow, I did it. I've been working at this for 3 months, and I just did it. And I fell in love. I wanted to learn everything I could about powerlifting, so I made the decision to hire a coach, which was a pretty hefty investment, but my why was burning very strong. And not only was I running from the pain of my past still, I was running towards wanting to be the best. So I did end up going to compete at the national level, and afterwards I brought my gym total up to 1,245 pounds. And I also returned to my roots of tumbling and martial arts, all the extra energy I had. And I continued my education. I worked 10-hour shifts regularly. and still managed to keep my nutrition dialed, training progressing, hormones optimized, and mental health elevated. And my understanding of my body, androgens, fitness, and God only continued to exponentially expand. And as if the constant recognition from others was not enough, I felt more euphoria than I'd ever felt from any drug I ever took, simply from the freedom I now had within my body. No more chronic pain. I could do things with my body. I could lift heavy weights. I knew how to be skilled in combat. And I just felt amazing. And I realized my innate desire was to help others transform the same way that I did. Every time I would be at the gym, I would always be trying to help out newbies and everything I could just to be a source of positivity for other people, because it pained me to see anyone that was in a similar spot to where I was. So why most men struggle with progress, low testosterone, and motivation is because they lack the real understanding of these foundations. So managing your macros, proper training stimulus, nutrient timing, recovery, lifestyle adaptations, mental health care, and mindfulness. Most people just think, okay, I eat protein and I do a lot of cardio and I lift weights and I'll be good. It goes a little deeper than that. And the most common mistakes people make are taking garbage health supplements that might actually hurt your organs or even suppress your androgen status, which is not what we want. Fall for fake health foods, so like protein chips or cookies or whatever they have on the market nowadays. Those things are just the same garbage with a slightly higher protein count, which is still insignificant compared to if you were to just eat a couple eggs or a piece of steak or something. Not tracking your calories or macros. This is the hugest one. Like most people just, you ask them, how many calories do you eat per day, or what's your macro split look like? They can't tell you. It's like, okay, well, that's why you're stuck. It's because you're not tracking, and it's a lot simpler and easier than you think. Doing too much or too little cardio, neglecting recovery, operating from a poor mindset, confusing total testosterone with net androgen status. This is a huge one, especially even today with all the media out there. Everyone's so fixated on that big total number, like for me, 1,100. But there's a lot more hormones at play, and your free testosterone, your hormone levels that your body can actually use come into play as well. And focusing on adding more things rather than removing habits and environmental toxins and other things that hold you back. That is a huge thing. It's like a lot of what's going to help you is actually removing things. So what a high net androgen status feels like: a strong, burning passion to make progress, thick skin, assertiveness, a desire to unite, confidence, charisma, and steroid-like gym progress, because you are inherently maximizing the use of your own steroids. And the truth is, you can achieve all of this while working full-time, studying, and without extreme drastic lifestyle changes or crazy 3-hour morning routines that are unrealistic for your schedule. My lifestyle now, this transformation has taught me maturity, freedom, and confidence. So through boosting my testosterone naturally, building a strong, resilient body, and enduring everything it took to get there, I forged a mindset that thrives under pressure, which is the best that you can do for yourself as a man. I learned firsthand that the same principles that drive physical transformation, consistency, discipline, and adaptation, can be applied to any area of life. And I achieved freedom. More than anything, I wanted freedom of location, food, and relationships. I now have that. And the only thing limiting you is your belief systems. And your belief systems are also heavily work in tandem with your endocrine system. I say this a lot on my Instagram, which is the life you desire may very well sit on the other side of an optimized endocrine system. And this is also why manifestation works, because when you optimize your hormones, you think differently, you interact with others differently, you act differently, you move through your life differently. Over time, that compounds. You become a different person who not only attracts, but creates different experiences, circumstances, and outcomes. So your life will change simply by having higher testosterone levels. It's true. And confidence, as you can see here, I'm sparring with someone who is about 50 pounds heavier than me, which is not very smart, but, you know, I felt confident in my body, right? Not only does it manifest physically when I take my shirt off at the beach and everyone's like, wow, look at him, he's jacked, all these compliments. It's independent. Independent confidence is insane because you optimize your testosterone and overcome challenges. It doesn't even matter what your body looks like at that point. You're going to have independent confidence no matter what. I want to stack the odds against myself, like I said before, where I'm sparring this guy who's 50 pounds heavier than me in favor of experience and growth. So my fitness journey got me here. From a skinny fat social outcast who hated his life as much as he hated his body, to a man that learned that he is capable of whatever he sets his mind to and can overcome any challenge that life throws at him. So I have an opportunity for you. The truth is, you do not need more information, and if that were the case, you would have already achieved your goal. What if you could build your dream physique, feel the best you've ever felt, and be held accountable and part of a like-minded community? I promise you, this will change your life. This program is for people who crave elite-level confidence, are fed up with weak progress, feeling stuck, want relentless, no-excuse accountability, are action takers, and are open-minded and coachable. So if this looks like you, this program is probably a good fit for you. But this program is not for individuals who want overnight results without putting in the work, quit at the first sign of resistance, don't take your journey seriously, and let their ego block their growth. So if this sounds like you, you might as well click off this video because I don't know why you're watching, right? If you're watching this video, it's probably because you want to change. You're interested in optimizing your androgen status and fixing your mindset in a way that serves the life you desire. So why you're failing? Number one, you don't have accountability. Other programs hand you a cookie cutter plan and then disappear. Your coach gave you the blueprint, but never held you to it. You need relentless accountability that doesn't let you slip, make excuses, or slack off. Imagine what happens when somebody actually ensures you follow through daily instead of just handing you a sheet or a trainerized plan or something stupid like that and then just basically telling you to fuck off. I've heard other coaches say, once I get people on my program, I don't give a shit what happens to them. Once they pay, I don't care what happens to them. I think that is disgusting. It's fucked up. And like, why are you even trying to be a coach? You can make money in so many other ways than just doing that. So anyway, number two is your training is ass. It's all over the place. You don't know how many sets to hit, how to structure intensity. Intensity is huge. It's key. Or if you're even targeting the right muscles properly or using proper technique. And a lot of people just end up guessing their way through workouts, hitting a ton of junk volume and basically just what I like to call a tendon workout. And skipping key variables like tracking their cardio. So no structure is no progress, and I'm looking to help fix that for you guys. Number three is your diet. This one's huge. Let's be honest. If your diet was dialed in, you'd already have your dream physique. I mean, literally, for most people, if you're not morbidly obese, it takes about, I'd say maximum, like 8 to 12 weeks to see your abs if you've never seen them before. Most guys just waiting it. There's no macro tracking, no adjustments, no system. And if you're not in control of your nutrition, you're just reacting to it and you're not in control of your results. So I'll teach you how to master it so progress becomes automatic. And number four is neglecting details. So you've been ignoring the two things that control everything, your hormones and your mindset. This is the huge topic of today's video, right? Optimizing the androgens and forging that iron mindset that manifests anything we want into our life. You're focused on the surface level tactics, more sets, more protein, more supplements, but your testosterone's in the gutter and your mental health is all over the place. So how is that going to be sustainable for us, right? Without a high natural T and optimized androgen status and a locked in mindset, no plan, no workout, and no diet will ever stick or be effective. So test maxing, it's not optional. It's the foundation. If you want faster progress, if you want people to like accuse you of being on gear and stuff, you got to get your hormones right. You got to optimize your own gear that your body makes you, right? And if you rewire your mind as well, everything falls into place. You are unstoppable with an unstoppable mindset. So the biggest lie is you don't need a coach who hands you a one-size-fits-all plan and then just disappears. Even with a solid workout and meal plan, you still end up feeling isolated and finish the journey without truly mastering your mindset. My goal for you guys is that when we're done working together, this is on autopilot for you. You are essentially locked in on this journey of androgen optimization and a fortified mindset without me here to guide you. That's what I want for each and every single one of you guys. Forever. Permanently change life. This is you now. So a lot of these programs that other coaches give you are unsustainable. The plan will kind of burn you out. It's all these new changes. There's no foundation or why. So, okay, eat this, train this, and then, yeah, fuck off. And you'll eventually stall because there's no one there to keep you accountable. And in the past, a lot of people will leave coaches without gaining any lasting tools or knowledge to transform their life. But here, it's all done for you. You partner with someone who gets your lifestyle and knows how to tailor your fitness and nutrition around it. And instead of guessing, I'll track your progress and make necessary adjustments so your plan evolves with you. Because obviously, life can be unexpected and everyone's body's different. So it's not like I'm just going to learn about you on the off ramp on the first call and then just give you a plan you're going to stick with forever and hope it has to work or else it's your fault and doesn't work. No, it's not like that. It's like, okay, we work together every day. If adjustments are needed, we make them. So strategy, we're just going to follow the game plan. We handle all the updates to your training and nutrition so you stay focused and consistent without overthinking it. Because let's be honest, a lot of you guys are super busy and I understand that, right? I am too. So I don't want that to be a source of stress for you. I don't want this transformation to be a source of stress for you at all, right? Because first of all, not good for the hormones. Second of all, who the fuck wants to be stressed out, right? This should be exciting and fun. Nothing else, right? So like I said, you can stay focused and consistent without overthinking. These 6 pillars of androgen-driven physical and psychological transformation are: number 1, an iron mindset. You need to break free from the mindset that's held you back your entire life. Do you think I locked out 500 pounds by thinking, oh, I can't? No, I set a pretty delusional, or by other people's standards, delusional goal. Like, okay, yeah, I can hit 500 this fall. I did. I honestly kind of didn't really believe in myself either, but there I was standing with it. Right? Your thoughts shape your reality. If you tell yourself it's unsurmountable, it will be. This is actually proven by science. There's one study that found that if you get under a weight with the mindset that you're not going to get it up, your body actually recruits less motor units for strength output. It's literally been proven by science. So imagine how this operates on every other scale. Once again, if you tell yourself it's insurmountable, it will be. So you need to lay the mental foundation for your fitness journey. And to evolve, you need to rewire your mind, build powerful habits, and practice awareness. You need to learn how to visualize your goals, become self-aware, and master your mind through meditation and focus clarity. This is huge. One thing that I do a lot during my workouts, which has made the biggest world of difference for me, is that I think about nothing except for how I'm going to hit my set. Like, what specific cue am I going to focus on this time because it wasn't so good last week? And all I'm going to think about is just be in that world and that's it. I'm going to failure, I'm doing the cue, going to failure. That's it. Nothing else is on my mind at that time. These are the habits that I use to overcome insecurity, break through mental barriers, and reclaim control. 2 is a goal-oriented training plan. Like I said, I didn't hit these weights without setting a goal to hit them. If you just aimlessly walk into the gym and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll try to do more than last time, you're not getting anywhere, dude. If you don't set a goal, you're not going to hit the goal, right? So there's no guesswork or random workouts. You get a fully tailored training program designed around your specific goals, whether it's fat loss, muscle gain, strength, body recomp, athleticism. I'll work it in to fit your lifestyle, and I'll hold you to performance standards and adjust it weekly based on your results and biofeedback. So 3 is a customized diet plan. We will build a nutrition strategy that fuels growth, burns fat, and optimizes your net androgen status, not just your total testosterone. I'm huge on that. It's a lot more nuanced than people think. So your plan will include macro targets, food preferences, nutrient timing, and androgen-friendly meals that fit your lifestyle. Every choice will be intentional, from cholesterol intake to other micronutrient support. And we don't have to put you on some disgusting bland chicken and rice diet. I would never do that to you. So we'll make sure it's also enjoyable so that it's sustainable for you. So number 4 is structure and habits. We will develop a clear structure for your day that sets you up for success, from morning routines, training windows, evening recovery, digital discipline. Install habits that build mental clarity, hormonal balance, and physical and psychological momentum, which makes consistency effortless instead of draining, right? Because the huge thing here is sustainability. We want it to be like, okay, I had a good day, it rolls into the next day, and the next day is even better. Not, okay, I worked really hard today and I'm gassed out tomorrow. That's not how it should be. So 5, mindfulness training. This journey, like I said, is far from physical. Like, the 2 main things are, yes, your androgens, and 2, your mindset. So mindfulness training, I'll guide you through some proven mindset practices, including breathwork, goal visualization, emotional regulation, and clarity training, so you stay grounded, confident, and locked in. You'll learn how to rewire limiting beliefs and stay mentally present through life and training. And my line is always open 24/7. If you need something off your chest or just need to talk through something with another set of eyes, which is super helpful. I mean, I do that with people that I value very much in my circle. Everyone needs that, right? So my line's always open. I'm not just some bot that's going to hand you a training program. Like, I'm a human being too, right? So I want to help you out as much as I can. So 6 is premium access. You will not be doing this alone. Like I said, I'm not just going to hand you something and dish you. I'll be working directly with you, very closely, one-on-one, checking in regularly, adjusting protocols as needed, calling you out as needed, and you'll have premium access to me for high-level feedback, strategy adjustments, and daily accountability. So you should expect nothing less than total support and elite mentorship every step of the way. Because I want you to succeed in every pillar of life, not just in the gym. So just overview our 6-step process: mindset mastery, tailored training plans, custom diet plans, structure and habits, mindfulness training, and direct access to me. So if you're ready to fortify your mindset and optimize your androgen status, regardless of how busy you are at work or school or whatever else life demands of you, then book in a call with me and I'll see if you're a good fit for the program.